Okay, so we're looking at some articles about Audrey Hepburn today. Yes, but not exactly the Audrey Hepburn you might be picturing, right? So we're calling this deep dive Audrey Hepburn, More Than a Pretty Face. Interesting. Because we're going beyond, those classic movies, Roman Holiday, Breakfast at Tiffany's, has those beautiful images, sort of like, that classic Givenchy style, huh? And we're going to look at her life during World War II. Exactly. And I think this is really going to change how people see her. I think so too. So you sent me some articles. I did, and they're all about World War II and Audrey Hepburn. Yeah. So where should we even begin with this? Well, I think it's important to kind of start with her childhood and to really understand the context of her experiences during the war. Okay. She wasn't always in the spotlight. She's born in Brussels, but she spent part of her childhood in England. Yeah, I think I read that. And then right before the war, her family moved to the Netherlands. And that's where things get really interesting. I was gonna say, so was it just bad timing or? Well, it was a bit of both, actually. But her mother, Ella van Hemstra, was drawn to fascism. And she believed that the Netherlands would be safe from invasion. Sadly, that was not the case. It's kind of hard to imagine someone being drawn to fascism. It is, looking back now, especially knowing what we know now about how the war unfolded. Right. But I guess back then it was a different time. Yeah. And there was a lot of misinformation and propaganda circulating. And to think Audrey's mother even wrote for a British fascist publication. That's right. Wow. Yeah, she did. So that's something I'm really curious about. Like, how much did that influence Audrey? Well, it's hard to say for sure. Yeah, we don't have, any direct statements from her about her parents' political leanings. Right. But it is clear that she ultimately took a very different path. And maybe, experiencing the harsh realities of the Nazi occupation firsthand, really shaped her views. Oh, yeah. It's definitely a layer of complexity to her story. I mean, it just makes you think about how even within a family, absolutely, it could have such different perspectives. Yeah. And so then in 1940, the Nazi invasion of the Netherlands happened. That's right. And I mean, her life completely changed. Yeah. Like everyone's did. Absolutely. She was just a teenager. Yeah. Imagine being pulled out of your life and thrust into food shortages, constant fear, uncertainty. Yeah, very uncertain time. It's hard to even grasp. It is. And on top of all of that, she experienced a really personal tragedy. Yes, this is a very sad part of her story. My gosh. Her uncle, Count Otto van Limburg-Starum, who was a vocal critic of the Nazi regime, was executed over his resistance activities. That's just heartbreak at it. To read about the horrors of war is one thing, but to experience such a direct loss, exactly. It must have been just a pivotal moment for her. Absolutely, it brought the brutality of the Nazi regime into very sharp focus. Yeah. And, for her to lose someone so close, who was a symbol of defiance against oppression, I imagine it really fueled her own desire to resist. Yeah, I can only imagine. And so in the midst of all this darkness, she found ways to fight back. She did. I read about these secret ballet performances that she held to raise funds for the Dutch resistance. It's incredible, isn't it? It is. Can you tell us more about that? Yeah, so these weren't your typical ballet recitals. We're talking, dimly lit rooms, maybe even safe houses, closed blinds, a single candle for light. Wow. And Audrey, still a teenager at this time, dancing gracefully to the soft melody of a pianist, all to raise money for this cause that she deeply believed in. It's kind of surreal to imagine this elegance and artistry that we associate with Audrey Hepburn being used as a weapon against oppression. Exactly. These were acts of defiance, a way to keep hope alive, to support the resistance in a time of immense fear and uncertainty. Yeah. And these were just the beginning of her involvement with the resistance. So it goes even deeper than these ballet performances. It does. Oh, wow. She starts working with a doctor, who's connected to the resistance. Okay, so now we're getting into, and this is where it starts to sound spy thriller territory. Yeah, like a spy thriller, exactly. Yeah, carrying secret messages, even managing to outsmart Dutch police at one point. No way. How did she do that? Well, she was young, Yeah, she had this innocent appearance, And Nazis often underestimated young people. Oh, that makes sense. And so she was able to move about more freely, And there's this story, I don't know if you've heard this one, about her using wildflowers to distract Dutch police during an encounter. What? Yeah, she basically used them to prevent them from searching her. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Quick thinking, right. Talk about thinking on your feet. Yeah, very brave. And then, of course, there was Operation Market Garden. Yes, this massive Allied attempt to liberate the Netherlands. Huge operation. I mean, she witnessed the parachute drops. Imagine seeing that. Yes, parachutes coming down. The fighting. I mean, she even had to hide in her cellar. Right. As Nazi tanks rolled by her house. It doesn't get much closer than that. I mean, talk about living with constant danger. Yes, it was a stark reminder of just how real the threat was. Right. How dangerous the situation was. Yeah, wow. Very real danger. Okay, so this is all just incredible. It is. And we're just getting started. Yeah, we've only scratched the surface. We're going to take a quick break. Okay. And we'll be right back with more of Audrey Hepburn. More than a pretty face. Sounds good. Operation Market Garden. It was a devastating setback for the Allies, yeah. But it was also a turning point for a lot of people in the Netherlands, right? I think seeing such a massive operation, the hope that it brought, and then the ultimate disappointment of its failure, right? It really kind of solidified their commitment to the resistance. I can see that, like witnessing something like that firsthand. Yeah, it must have been just a profound experience. It was. So what kind of specific roles did Audrey play in the resistance? Well, there are stories about her helping downed Allied pilots escape. Oh, carrying those vital messages, tucked away in her socks. Okay, God. And even using her ballet performance to relay coded information, coded messages through ballet. How did that even work? I know, right? It's fascinating. We don't have all the specifics, right? But it's believed that she incorporated subtle gestures or changes in the choreography that would convey information to those in the know, right? Exact. Wow, that's like some real spy stuff. It is. I mean, but this was her reality. Yeah, it was. It's hard to even imagine living in a world where every action, every word, could have such dire consequences. Absolutely, but she persevered, right? Driven by this belief in freedom and a desire to contribute to the fight against oppression. And think about the strength it must have taken to perform, right? To maintain this sense of normalcy. Yeah, knowing that discovery could mean imprisonment or even death. Absolutely, it's a testament to the human spirit, to find light in the darkest of times. And it wasn't just about her own survival either, right? No, not at all. Those performances, they provided a sense of hope and community for others too. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they offered this flicker of light, this symbol of defiance against tyranny. Yeah, those gatherings were more than just entertainment. Right. They were acts of resistance, moments of shared humanity. Yeah. In the face of these dehumanizing forces. It really makes you look at her iconic status in a different light. For sure. I mean, do you think these wartime experiences influenced her later humanitarian work with UNICEF? It's certainly plausible. Yeah. The empathy and compassion that she developed during the war. Right. Having experienced firsthand the effects of conflict and displacement, it could have very well fueled her desire to help others later in life. It's easy to draw a line, right, from the young woman resisting Nazi occupation to the global advocate for children's rights. Absolutely. She was known for her grace and elegance, but also for her incredible strength and determination, for sure. And I think those qualities were probably forged, in the fires of World War II. I think that's a very compelling observation. I think her wartime experiences likely honed her inner strength and resilience. Yeah. And those are qualities that undoubtedly contributed to her success. Yeah. Both on and off the screen. And her dedication to UNICEF later in life really speaks volumes. It does. It wasn't just lending her name to a cause, right? She was deeply involved, traveling to some of the most impoverished and war-torn regions, advocating for children's rights, raising awareness about those in need. She was a true advocate. It's incredible to think about that. It is the same woman who graced the silver screen. Yeah. Also walked through war-torn villages. Yeah. Comforting children, and working tirelessly for a better future. It really speaks to the depth of her character and her unwavering commitment to making a positive impact. Right. It wasn't about fame or recognition for her. Yeah. It was about using her platform, right, to shed light on injustice, right, to inspire action. It really does change how you see her, doesn't it? It does. She's not just a Hollywood icon anymore. Yeah. She's a symbol of resilience, courage, and compassion. Exactly. Audrey Hepburn's story is a reminder that there's often more to people than meets the eye. Yeah. Beneath the surface of fame and glamour, right, there can be these hidden depths of strength, empathy, and a profound commitment to making the world a better place. Yeah. It really makes you think about how we perceive these historical figures. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in the image, the iconography. Yeah. But her story really reminds us to dig deeper. Yeah, to uncover those human stories beneath the surface. Absolutely. And it's not just about Audrey Hepburn. It's about, you know, recognizing all those others, yeah, who lived through those times, who fought so bravely, whose stories we might not know. Yeah, it's humbling. It is. You know, we're sitting here talking about her films and her style. Yeah, and she was dodging bullets and risking her life. It puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Yeah, it really does. And it highlights, I think, the importance of perspective, you know, encouraging us to delve deeper into these narratives behind the figures we admire. Yeah, it makes you wonder how many other untold stories are out there. Oh, countless, well, I'm sure. Yeah, how many unsung heroes? Yeah, quietly shaping the world. Yeah, it's a reminder to approach history with curiosity and respect. Yeah, for those who came before us. Their experiences really have shaped the world we live in. They have, even the ones that remain hidden. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Audrey Hepburn's wartime experiences, what's the takeaway here? Well, I think her story goes beyond the glamour, the fame, right? It's a testament to the power of the human spirit, yeah, to overcome adversity and to find hope. Exactly, even in the darkest of times, yeah. Hope, resilience, compassion, they can flourish. It's a powerful message. It is, especially relevant today. Perhaps encouraging us to look beyond the surface. Recognize the strength, yeah, and the complexity in ourselves and in others, yes, and to really strive for a world where those values guide our actions. Well said. Her legacy continues to inspire, right? It does. It urges us toward a future, yeah, where compassion, justice, freedom prevail. I think so, for sure. If you want to explore this fascinating side of Audrey Hepburn, yeah, check out the show notes. We've got the links to those articles. Yes, be sure to subscribe and watch the full video. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening.